See Head On, Geraldo, weekdays at 5 on TV2.
Welcome to storied Lambeau Field, where today the Green Bay Packers get set to host the playoff hopeful Detroit Lions. The Lions have not won outdoors in 4 tries this season, and greeting them today, frigid weather conditions in Green Bay. Temperature right around 9 degrees with the wind chill that's down to 20 below. A victory today not only clinches a playoff spot for the Lions for the first time since 1983, but it also keeps them right on the heels of the Chicago Bears in the chase for the NFC Central Division title. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown along with Randy Cross. And as we take a look at Wayne Fontes, the head coach of the Detroit Lions, Randy, he mentioned to us today's game is monumental for the Detroit franchise.
Well, it's monumental, James, because he hopes it's the first playoff appearance would be clinched today in the Wayne Fontes, Chuck Schmidt era. Barry Sanders is the guy that carries this team. Gained 133 yards last year on a frozen field. But make no mistake, the guy that they're going to live and die with, and he's going to carry him into the playoffs and further, they hope, is quarterback Eric Kramer. He is the man for Detroit. For Lindy and Fonte and the Green Bay Packers, 2 very important things to remember. Number 1, for the players, they've got 1 more week left in their season. Number 2, General Manager and Executive Vice President Ron Wolf told us Friday, as soon as this season's over, I'll immediately address the head coaching position.
Green Bay receiving a short kickoff by Murray and fought over momentarily, and Darrell Thompson has it, and Thompson dives his way up to about the 24-yard line. So the Packers will take over 1st and 10, ball at about the 24. Mike Tomczak, the quarterback, making his 6th start for the Packers. The offensive line, a big one indeed. Cheek, Moran, Campen, Hallstrom, Tony Mandridge, and the tight end is Ed West. The ground game has improved the last 3 games, still an anemic 80 yards per contest. Wide receivers Sharp, Perry Kemp. 1st and 10, Green Bay, first possession. Harris in motion, and on the ground, this is Thompson, and Thompson running hard across the 30 to about the 32, a 5-yard pickup by Darrell Thompson, and they'll be playing a defense that's minus an important player.
And those Packers rush well in the middle, and in the middle has been Jerry Ball and Chris Spielman been the run guys. Ball won't be there, replaced by Lawrence Pete in the middle. Look for Spindler and Owens to support from the outside. Linebacking position, strong. George Jamison with a turf toe. I don't know how long he can go today on this frozen field. Defensive backfield all got one thing in common. They are hurt.
Take a look at Chris Spielman. It was a gain of 9 on a play, bringing up a 2nd and 1. On the ground again. And Thompson looks to have the first down from here, make that Woodside. Keith Woodside, the 4th-year player out of Texas A&M, gained 4 on a play. First down, Green Bay. So, Randy, Green Bay traditionally starts off on the ground and looks impressive. The key is whether or not they stay with it.
And the key for Lindy and Fonte and these Packers are his 5 guys up front. That offensive line the last 3 or 4 weeks has managed to block very well, tackle to tackle. They're not a sprint out team. They're not a sweeping team. They're a team that has to power the ball straight ahead.
Woodside to the left. This is Ed West in motion. Thompson, the ball carrier. And Thompson running hard ahead for maybe about 2 yards. Green Bay certainly this season has been most disappointing. A 3-11 record, and Randy, many times Green Bay has shot itself in the foot.
And there's your reason right there. Look at that. All those mistakes, the sacks, the penalties, something, and all these mistakes, they don't come at, well, mistakes never come at opportune times, but Green Bay makes their mistakes and gets their penalties this year in 1991 at the absolute worst possible time.
2nd and 8, 2 tight end formation, West and Harris. Thompson, the lone back. This is Harris in motion. Thompson on the ground. And Thompson roped down from behind, but he drags ahead for about 3 yards. A tackle that time by Dan Owens, 2nd-year player out of Southern Cal. Randy, you were down on the field at the top of the game. How bad are the conditions? Will the passing game be effective for either team?
Well, the ball gets to be kind of like a rock in these weather conditions. All the receivers, you look for them all to be wearing the gloves. The toughest thing about catching it are the laces. The laces of that football there, folks, are frozen. Not to mention the field they're on is frozen. This field freezes from the inside out. So so look for a lot of slipping. We saw it on the opening kickoff, but you get out from about the numbers to the hash marks inside, and it's going to be a hard, tough field to keep your feet.
3rd and 5 from the 41 out of the shotgun. Tomczak drills it incomplete. Intended receiver was Sterling Sharp. Defending that time was Sheldon White, the 4th-year player out of Miami. White, a one-time draft choice of the New York Giants, 3rd-round pick back in 1988. Paul McJulian on to punt. Has had a very good season, with the exception, of course, of the Atlanta game where he fumbled a most crucial snap. Mel Gray back to receive his punt from Paul McJulian. Mel Gray, the ever dangerous one, 2nd leading punt returner in the league, averaging 12 yards a return. Flag on the play as McJulian, it gets caught in the wind a bit, but this play will be dead right there.
They'll stop that. The whole left side of the punt team moved just before the snap. Didn't even get flinched at. They just moved back.
False start prior to the snap on the left guard and the left tackle on offense. 5 yards, still 4th down.
I mean, heck, if you're going to ID 2 of the 3 guys, why not throw that end in there too? I think they all moved.
Coaches will certainly have an idea from the film.
And these special teams have been a real plus for the Detroit Lions here in 1991. Not only Gray in his returns, but Frank Gans, the special teams coach, has done a great job for the Lions on the returns, on their blocks, on the entire special teams package.
Talk about having an infectious leader. Frank Gans is definitely that, always fired up. And McJulian with a 2nd chance gets away a good one. Gray from the 24. And Gray is dropped at about the 34. So it'll be Detroit's first possession when we come back.
Simple arithmetic can tell you a lot about Toyota trucks. Like right now, extra value options can add up to big savings for you. On this or this. But hurry before your dealer is minus the one you want.
Hey, D Brown, what are you doing here in New York?
Purchasing my new dunk with my new shoes, Reebok Omnizones.
Reebok Omnizones?
Yeah, very lightweight, which is key for this jam.
Oh, yeah? Which jam?
The King Kong jam.
Ready when you are, Jay!
Houseware gifts at a hardware store? You bet. When it's a True Value hardware store, where this Mr. Coffee International Design 10-cup brewing system is just $14.88. Its sleek style fits right in any kitchen, and the pause and serve feature lets you sneak a cup if you're in a hurry. Give the Mr. Coffee 10-cup brewing system only $14.88 at your local True Value, the neighborhood hardware store with national chain store buying power.
Green Bay winds up punting on the end of its first possession. No score here. 11:54 remaining in the first quarter. No score. Eric Kramer, 4-2 as a starter for the Lions, will be at the helm. And the offensive line that will be in front of him does, in fact, have a change, as the rookie Scott Conover will be in at right tackle in place of the injured Eric Sanders. Barry Sanders, not injured at all, did well on the frozen field here last year, as Randy indicated during the NFL Today show. 133 yards on the ground here. This is Sanders' fumble. And Green Bay recovers. Johnny Holland, a fifth-year player out of Texas A&M, recovering the Barry Sanders fumble. And Holland paid the price. Randy, you talked about that field being frozen down there, and Holland paid the price on the 11th fumble recovery for the Packers.
Well, we also talked about the ball being frozen, James, and very important for a running back's ball mechanics. Barry Sanders never put that ball away. He got the handoff from Kramer and was struggling with it the whole time against his chest, against his jersey, and with a hard frozen ball, you better tuck that thing away quick.
A rare mistake by Barry Sanders. Green Bay with excellent field position. This is Thompson, and Thompson could not maneuver very well on that turf. Stopped by Ray Crockett for a loss of 2.
We mentioned in their first possession, James, this is not a lateral running team. Thompson's forte is not running sweeps. It's not getting outside. He needs to get the support from his line up front, in the middle, blast the holes in the defense inside. He cannot make the corner on this Detroit Lion defense. Even with their injuries, I think they've got too much speed. They can contain him.
5 defensive backs in for the Lions. Dennis Gibson out, Terry Taylor in. Ball marked at the 35. 2nd and 11. And a mix-up between Tomczak and Thompson. Throws incomplete. Intended receiver was Perry Kemp. A busted play in that Mike Tomczak ran into Darrell Thompson, and well, you talked about mistakes earlier on with Green Bay. That one didn't cost him, though, except an incompletion.
That one looked just like he drawed up in the dirt, James. I'll bounce off you. I'll hit you behind the left Buick. And, I mean, bad body mechanics, bad kind of throwing mechanics by Tomczak there. I think he was just getting rid of that one.
So Tomczak and the Packers face a 3rd and 11. 11 minutes remaining in the first period of play. No score. Ball at the 35 of Detroit. Sterling Sharp. There's a flag in the backfield, and Sharp ahead for maybe just 2. That was the 4th carry of the year for Sharp, who's gained a total of 2 yards. So that play has not worked very well for Green Bay.
Number 84.
And that will go against Sterling Sharp.
He was so excited about getting that reverse, he thought he'd start a little early.
Sterling Sharp always seemingly has a reason to smile, except on that play.
Well, Sterling Sharp is going to line up here on the offense's left. Watch what he does here. Just before the snap, he flinches. See that flinch? It is legal for a receiver to be in motion, but not towards the line of scrimmage, simulating the start of a play.
So Paul McJulian on to punt again. 2nd punt.
And James, tell you something about this cold and wind here. This would be a 50 to 51 yard field goal for the Green Bay Packers. Instead, they're opting the punt.
The Packers not able to capitalize on the Sanders fumble. And McJulian gets a pooch.
That's about a half pooch.
And it settles at about the 13. So Detroit will get a second opportunity after a 19-yard half pooch.
You can travel to the ends of the earth to keep up with the Joneses, or to your local McDonald's for your own original Indiana Jones videos. Just $5.99 each with the purchase of any large sandwich all day long. The adventure begins December 16th.
Give your car better pickup with the Black & Decker Car Vac Plus. The most powerful car vacuum made. The Black & Decker Car Vac Plus leaves everything else in the dust.
It was a good day for ideas. Plans for a sidewalk cafe were finalized. A river walk was proposed. And someone had the vision to bring luxury and romance back to train travel. Keep those ideas coming, and we'll keep making them look their best. LaserJet printers from Hewlett-Packard.
They warned me. Buying a new car is a big financial responsibility. They said it would change my life. You know something? They were right.
Introducing the 1992 Toyota Tercel. Starting at $69.98, Tercel is the lowest priced two-door sedan you can buy.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota and their quality line of 1992 cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas. And by Hewlett-Packard LaserJet printers. They'll get you noticed.
And Tony Mandarich, obviously, with some hot thoughts in his head. Detroit, Green Bay, no score, first quarter action. Detroit fumbled their first possession, first play of the first possession. This is Kramer. Pumping, throws it to Mike Farr, and it's complete. And Mike Farr has the first down. So Kramer with a 12-yard pass and a first down for the Lions.
And Tony Bennett draws the job of trying to put some pressure on Kramer with his 11.5 sacks here this year. And he's joined up front by a defensive line whose specialty is stopping the run. Brock Tuaolo and Robert Brown are what we refer to as two-gappers, run stoppers. Scott Stephen, Brian Noble, Johnny Honlin, and Tony Bennett linebacker. The defensive backs, there they are, Holmes, Butler, Cecil, and Murphy.
And there he goes, Barry Sanders, making up for the fumble as Barry Sanders runs for a first down. 11-yard scamper by Barry Sanders, tackled by Chuck Cecil.
You know, James, I finally decided what it is that enables Barry Sanders to run on a field like this. Besides the obvious, he's going to get good blocking here up front. His feet are like a hummingbird's wings. They don't spend much time on the ground. That's why frozen fields don't affect this guy. They move so fast, it doesn't matter what he's running on.
Well, here's a guy who probably doesn't want to spend too much time on a cold field. Wayne Fonts all bundled up. First and 10, all on the 35. 9:25 left in the first quarter of play. The draw to Sanders. And Sanders scampering on the frozen field. Randy, I tell you, he makes a 1-yard run look extremely exciting, and that's all it was, a 1-yard run. Tony Bennett runs him out of bounds. Dallas and Philadelphia, both of those teams have their playoff fates in their own hands. Seattle and Atlanta. Seattle, long shot. Atlanta, if they win the last two, conceivably could win the division. The Rams in Minnesota. Minnesota barely breathing, Randy, as far as the playoff hopes are concerned.
Good job on that last play, James, of the Green Bay defense, keeping the relationship on Sanders, keeping him in front of him, and not enabling him to make a miss and go downfield.
2nd and 9 from the 37. Kramer with time, launches his upfield, incomplete. The intended receiver was Brett Perryman, and making a diving attempt to try for the interception was Leroy Butler, number 36.
Well, we all tend to sing Barry Sanders' praises about what a great running back he is. Well, part of his game he does need to work on is his pass blocking. Watch him right here trying to block on Bernell Dent, who is blitzing 56. Kind of a half-hearted effort of going down and hoping Dent tripped over him and almost costed him a sack right there.
It'll be 3rd and 9 for Kramer. Ball at the 37, 8:40 left in the first quarter of play. The flags will go down there on the left side of that line. Wide receiver Willie Green, a little too anxious.
False start prior to the snap. 86 offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
As a result of Willie Green's over-anxiousness, it'll be a 3rd and 14 for the Lions. Houston and Cleveland. Cleveland on top, and again, for those teams on life support trying to get into the playoffs, Cleveland one of those teams. New England and the Jets. Hey, the Jets, they can get into the playoffs with 2 victories. 3rd and 14 from the 32. Kramer pumps, still has time, throws it incomplete again in the direction of Willie Green, and Green had 2 defenders on him. Butler, one of those defenders.
Well, getting the sync between the quarterback and the receivers is one thing, but Conover, 76, working at right tackle is going to be the key for the Lions today, keeping that pressure off of Kramer. And if Conover can do the job, he'll stay in there. But Wayne Fonts told us yesterday, if he slips, if he starts costing us yardage, we'll bring Ken Dallafor, the veteran, in to tackle.
You like what he's doing in the early going?
So far, so good. He's keeping his feet and moving them well.
Jeff Query back to receive this punt from Jim Arnold. Arnold, the 2-time Pro Bowler. Not a particularly good one. And Query having trouble. Loose ball. Detroit looks to have recovered. Maybe not. We'll wait to see what the official says.
You'll see him pointing in both directions. Lions will go to your right, and the Packers will be pointing to the left. But remember, a frozen, slippery ball.
And indeed, Detroit looks to have it, as Jeff Query could not find a handle on the ball. Nico Noga, the man on the bottom of the pile with the ball. As you take a look at Lindy Infante, he's seen it so many times this year.
Never a good time for a fumble, never a good time for a mistake. Query trying to field that ball to keep it from rolling any further back. Had the ball bounce off his shoulders in his chest, and would appear Roland Mitchell had possession as the pile formed. But as often happens in those piles, possession changes by the time the officials get to the bottom of it.
So the Lions now with an opportunity. Ball at the 26 of Green Bay. 8:20 left in the first quarter. And Kramer has it knocked loose by Robert Brown, but it looks like Kramer may have gotten it back. We'll see. Robert Brown, the 10th-year vet, in fact, does get it. So Green Bay comes right back on the strength of the veteran Robert Brown out of Virginia Tech.
The thing to watch is the shallowness of Kramer's drop. Watch how short this drop is. The protection must be perfect. And Brown comes off the nose, being blocked by Glover, comes off there late, but it's a very risky setup. Unless your blocking is perfect, when you set that short, a turnover is possible, and that's what Lindy got.
Did you tell your boss you're quitting?
No, I'm telling him on Monday.
Got any plans yet?
A few.
No celebrity spokesman.
I'm opening a restaurant.
No beach volleyball games.
How about another Heineken?
No lengthy description of the brewing process. None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
You got that steady paycheck?
Oh, yeah. I got a few bucks put away.
So you want to own a restaurant?
No, what I really want to do is be a relief pitcher.
Lots of men have heard about minoxidil, and lots of men have heard about Rogaine. But lots of men don't know that only Rogaine has minoxidil, and only your doctor has Rogaine. For more information, call this number now.
If you want to get the complete story about Rogaine with minoxidil, what it does and how it does it, see your doctor or call 1-800-274-8270.
Upjohn Information Center.
That's 1-800-274-8270.
Well, look who's here.
Little Caesar's Cheeser. Not one, but two pizzas with extra cheese, up to 4 toppings, and free crazy bread for $8.98.
Teaser. You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
Back here in Green Bay, no score with 8:14 left in the first quarter of play. And Randy, even given the weather conditions down there, did you expect the ball to be this difficult to handle?
Not really. I mean, the ball's frozen. Things are tough. This is a playoff-type game for the Lions. You expect more concentration, and the Packers are taking advantage of every mistake so far.
Green Bay takes over from its own 31 and complete to Sterling Sharp. That reception, his 54th consecutive game with at least one reception. Now let's take it back to New York for an NFL Today update with Greg.
All right, JB, Cowboys and Eagles, 2 9-5 teams at Philadelphia. Ken Willis's 50-yard field goal put Dallas up, and then Rod Harris fumbled on the kickoff return. John Booty will recover in the end zone for the Eagles, but is tackled there for the safety. And it's Dallas, a 5-0 lead in the first quarter. James?
All right, Greg and Randy, you expect that to be a war.
It really will be. People underestimate that Dallas defense.
Thompson on 2nd and 3, and Thompson runs for the first down. Darrell Thompson running hard out here on the frozen turf. And Randy, the last 3 weeks have been very good ones for this young man out of Minnesota.
You know, new executive vice president and general manager Ron Wolf, he wants 2 things from his team, I think, in the future here in Green Bay. He says he wants them to be tough, and he wants them to be kind of mean. And there's no better way to show that you can be a little mean and you can be a little tough than on the ground blasting the ball running. Packers look good early running the ball against the Detroit Lions defense.
1st and 10 for Green Bay. Ball at the 42. Woodside and Thompson in the game. Thompson in the backfield. Play action. Tomczak throws it again to Sharp, but it's incomplete as Sharp had it for only a fraction of a second. Melvin Jenkins, a 5th-year player out of Cincinnati, right there with the good coverage. Randy, you talked about getting mean and getting nasty on a part of Green Bay. Is that something you can teach?
That's something that you're born with and is contagious. Other players can catch that. There's only so many mean players in football. It's the guys around them that kind of take on that persona. You know, last play, Jenkins did a good job of breaking on the ball. He was beaten by Sterling Sharp, but broke and closed on the ball before the pass got there and made that play.
Nickel defensive package for the Lions. 2nd and 10 for Green Bay. And Tomczak throws it low, but it's caught. And Ed West, the big tight end out of Auburn, rumbles his way for a 1st down on 19-yard pass play. And West with his 15th catch of the season.
And Ed West is a cold weather, bad weather, frozen field kind of a big man receiver working out of the tight end position. Just sneaks out late, sets up for a quick pass protection in case there was a blitz, comes out there, and this is the kind of guy you want to be handling the ball if the field's frozen and things are kind of ugly. He's big, he's physical, and he's sure-handed.
Frozen field, bad weather, big man type of player. I love it.
Doesn't fit in the caption under his name, but it works.
1st and 10, and it did. From the 39, and Thompson pushing his way to the 35, a gain of 4 on the play. Dan Owens along with Mark Spindler. 6 carries for 22 yards on the afternoon so far for Darrell Thompson with 5:48 left in the 1st quarter.
You know, you talked about Spindler on that last place. Mark Spindler's matched up against Tony Mandarich today, and he says, you know, I like to get my guys. I'm a 2-gapper. I'm like those Green Bay guys. I want to stick my helmet in their chest. I want to wrap my arms around them. I'm going to dominate the defensive tackle, especially a young guy like a Mandarich. We're going to be matched up for however long our careers last in this division. We got to show each other who's boss.
He calls Mandarich young, and he's only going to lead for 2 years. And take a look at the good hard running by Thompson. Thompson ahead for 5. Will bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Packers as they continue to drive in Lions territory. Benny Blades on the stop.
And backs look to be running tough and hard when they're getting that blocking up front. Watch Spindler and Mandarich working over on the right side. Mandarich mans up, keeps that body surface on his guy. Hallstrom, the right tackle, working against Chris Spielman, gets a good block on him. If the bodies are covered, gaps open up, and the backs can run through those gaps. It's guys like Spindler and Spielman's job to close those gaps up by throwing their guys into them or filling it with their bodies.
Steve Gabberton is the eligible receiver, but this is Vince Workman for the 1st down. He's heading to pay dirt. Touchdown, Green Bay. Sixth rushing touchdown of the season for Vince Workman on a 30-yard run.
We're talking, let's put bodies on bodies. We'll get big Tony Mandarich out, let him pull, get a good block, couple of good blocks, and then Workman makes the cut back. The defense can adjust on this hard field. He knows where he's going. They have no clue. 6 points.
Chris Jackie on for the point after. He's 27 of 27 for PATs, and the Lions fall behind by 7, can ill afford a loss.
Amore, baciami, 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 e forte stringimi, stringimi, stringimi. Mi piace stare racchiusa in te nel tuo tepore.
Isn't it a little sparse?
That's the latest thing in trees. Your decorations stand out better.
Is it my imagination, or is the entire tree leaning to the left?
That's normal for the Himalayan spruce.
Well, just out of curiosity, how much are you asking for that?
Well, if it's close to Christmas, I'll let you have it for half price.
At least one thing won't go wrong this holiday season. Tots.
And half price is?
$80.
Make it special. Make it Tots.
Cos'è questa cosa qua? Mi sembra una cosa veramente strana.
It's a hot 35mm camera from Canon.
It's just a camera.
Sembra sospetto.
The Canon Photura. With futuristic flash, automatic one-hand control, and long-range power zoom lens. Photura.
You have to come with us.
It's just a camera.
Please.
The Photura from Canon. So advanced, it's simple.
A packed house here at Lambeau Field. The Packers on top of the Lions, 7-0, thanks to a 30-yard touchdown run by Vince Workman, his longest touchdown run of the season.
The Packers early, 63 yards rushing. Here we are, early in the game, first quarter, and they're ramming this ball right now down Detroit's throat. And all initial causes say the Detroit defense misses Jerry Ball at the nose guard position inside against the run.
Wayne Fontes mentioned that some players, indeed players, would have to step up to the task to replace Jerry Ball, who was having himself a Pro Bowl season indeed, suffering the knee injury because of the chop block last week by the Jets. Lions Gray picks it up around the 19 and scoots his way, still on his feet, as Gray takes it to the 33 for Detroit. So the Lions will take over after that return by Mel Gray. And Vince Workman, normally the short yardage guy, their touchdown maker, if you will, but that was a nice jaunt.
And a good job, a lead block out of the backfield by Darrell Thompson. Right tackle Tony Mandarich gets outside and does a great job. Watch this thing go. This will just open up, and he is gone. Thompson's block right there. Goodbye.
First and 10 for the Lions. Ball at the 33, 4:23 left in the first quarter play. Lions trailing 7-0. Kramer to pass and throws it complete to Perryman for the first down, and Perryman across midfield to the 48-yard line. Run out of bounds by Roland Mitchell, and Perryman with his 46th catch of the season.
We talked about this field being hard. Part of it's frozen, part of it's semi-frozen. Once you get on that sideline, you're talking all frozen. Well, a little clothesline from a teammate there unexpectedly on the sideline for Perryman.
And that hurt, even though he fell down on the cushiony part of his body. First and 10 from the 48. This is Sanders. And Sanders ahead for 3 to the 45, tackled by Scott Stephen. Will bring up a 2nd and 7. Well, we talked about Brett Perryman on that last catch, 46 catches on the season. He leads the team in receptions. He's very happy, obviously, to be out of New Orleans and here in Detroit, although the weather's a little different.
He's a little disturbed about the cold up here in the Central Division, but he's having a good year for a main reason. This offensive passing system with his skills tend to spin off of him. The big catches, the third down catches, things like that have tended to go to Mike Farr, but you watch Perryman. All the plays are somewhere around that man.
2nd and 7 for Detroit. This is Sanders. First down. Sanders inside the 20. Barry Sanders showing the moves on the frozen field as he did last year. A 26-yard run finally stopped by Mark Murphy and Vinnie Clark. 5 carries for 40 yards so far for Sanders.
There are some great running backs in the NFL. One of them, Thurman Thomas, also from Oklahoma State. Best pure runner in the league. I don't think it's close. It's this guy. There's dirt flying up from behind his heels. He can run with power, he can run with speed, and he can run with magic, because sometimes he just isn't there when you want to hit him.
Green Bay is there at that time to hit him, though. A group of 3 for no gain on the play, with 2:26 left. And Randy, again, let's underscore the importance of this game for Detroit. The Lions must win to get into the playoffs today.
And more importantly for the Detroit Lions, James, they want to win today to keep pace with Chicago, and they want to win next Sunday in Buffalo to keep the pressure on the Bears, who play San Francisco out in San Francisco next Monday night. They lead right now the wild card pace. They'd have a home game in Detroit in the first round of the playoffs, but Wayne Fonts and these Lions are thinking division winner and week off.
2nd and 10 as Kramer gets rid of it just in time. The heat was on Eric Kramer. Matt Brock, along with Mark Murphy, right there to put the pressure on Eric Kramer.
And when you study the tapes of these games, you notice that Hank Bulla, the defensive coordinator, he throws a little bit of everything. Here's Murphy. He's blitzing from here. Keep an eye on him. Hank Bulla throws everything. He throws 4-man lines. He throws 3-man lines. He blitzes off of both looks. He doesn't blitz off both. He keeps a quarterback, especially an inexperienced quarterback like Eric Kramer, guessing.
3rd and 10. This is Mike Farr in motion. Trips left out of a 4-receiver set. Kramer looking back right. Throwing to Clark. He has him. Touchdown, Detroit. No flag. So the Lions answer Green Bay with their own touchdown drive. A pass from Eric Kramer to Robert Clark. Clark's 5th receiving touchdown of the season, and we're going to be tied if the point after is good.
And Clark's lined up on the right-hand side, working on the far side, or on the near side here. We had a stumble by both men, not only Clark but also Vinnie Clark stumbles, but Clark recovers the best. We talked about Sanders blocking. Mark Murphy, the safety, wants to blitz, and that time Berry got his man.
Eddie Murray, Mr. Automatic on the point after. That's his 107th straight PAT. And we're all tied at 7 apiece with 1:42 left in the first quarter of play. And Randy, you know, quite a few of the guys on Detroit really seem to be pretty irate when they talk terms to this not being able to win outside versus winning so consistently on the inside this year.
Well, that's what is known as in the professional football business is a put up or shut up stat. Until you prove otherwise, until you start winning games outside, you will never hear the end of those stories. We talked about on that last touchdown by Robert Clark, the fact that he and Vinnie Clark working down here, watch them stumbling around. Both these guys are going to fall. There goes Clark. Clark stumbles first. Vinnie Clark stumbles second. And Vinnie Clark, 25, the rookie out of Ohio State, loses track of his man, Robert Clark. Clark cuts to the right. The other Clark, Vinnie Clark, goes to the left, and an easy touchdown for Wayne Fonts' Lions there.
That scoring drive by the Lions, 6 plays, covering 67 yards, just about 250 off the clock. And Robert Clark with a 19-yard pass from Eric Kramer, and we're all tied at 7 apiece.
And we'll say it again. We showed you the replay. The key part of that touchdown play just then was the blitz pickup by Barry Sanders on Mark Murphy, the blitzing safety.
Charles Wilson and Vince Workman back to receive the kickoff from Detroit. And Workman from the 10. Slipping and sliding. And falling at the 17. So Green Bay will take over. 1st and 10 from about the 17. Ball game all tied. Dallas ahead 5-0, the baseball score.
Bottom of the 3rd inning. Atlanta top of the 2nd over Seattle, 2-zip.
Not the Braves.
A no-hitter so far up in Minneapolis. I like that. Oh. Candiotti's not in Cleveland anymore, but somebody's getting shelled.
As you take a look at the scores from around the league, and don't forget, this is doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. Giants at Washington, a part of that doubleheader coming up after this. 1st and 10, 1:30 left in the first quarter, all tied at 7 apiece. Tomczak complete to Jackie Harris, and the big tight end moves ahead. Looks like he may be at the first down marker. We'll see where they spot it. And it is a first down. Chris Spielman tackling Jackie Harris.
And Jackie Harris is the speed version of that reliable tight end we were talking about with Ed West.
By what, a half a second maybe?
By a little bit. By a little bit, I got to tell you. Jackie Harris is a tight end here in Green Bay. that can really get into a defensive backfield. Ed West is a guy that can get out in the flat, catch a short pass, and hurt you. Jackie Harris can get you deep, and he can score on you.
Woodside and Thompson in the I formation, 1st and 10. Play action. Tomczak with time and drills it too hard off the fingertips of Keith Woodside. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 28 with 40 seconds left in the first quarter of play. Tomczak 3 of 7 for 37 yards in the first quarter of action.
But obviously, from what we've seen in the game plan of Lindy and Fonte and these Green Bay Packers, it's to blast the ball. It's to feature Darryl Thompson. It's to get the ball, hold onto it, and keep Barry Sanders and this Lions offense off the field, more importantly.
Lindy and Fonte under a lot of heat here. You can tell the pressure is there as he talks aloud about his status as head coach for next season. Flags on the play as Tomczak throws it complete to Sharp, and Sharp grabs it at the 35 but pays the price with the hit.
An early jump and offsides by Spindler, 92, that left defensive end.
Sharp will be glad to hear that.
Defense, left tackle, offside in the neutral zone at the snap.
Larry Nimmers, our referee today, the high school principal from Bartlett, Illinois.
That's a sick puppy right there, 92, Mark Spindler. This guy, just like Chris Spielman, the linebacker behind him, these are pure football players. These guys met every morning during the offseason at 6:30 in the morning to lift weights, to run. You know, Wayne Fontes told us, you know, these guys on days off come to the stadium and walk around and look at the empty seats.
Listening.
They sort of exchange grunts. He goes, I don't even know if these guys talk, but these guys love playing football. And Spindler, you don't have to ask this guy a question. You sit him down in a chair, you just say football, and he goes.
These guys are such clones, they put their lockers side by side. 2 messy lockers together.
That was more for health and sanitation purposes than anything else.
2nd and 5. And Woodside on the ground ahead for about 4. We'll see where they spot it as the clock winds down toward the end of the first quarter of play here. And in cold Green Bay, the clock is stopped at 3 seconds for a measurement. And they're going to be shy of the first down by a good bit, so they will not measure it, and the clock will expire. So that's the end of the first quarter here in Green Bay, all tied between the Packers and Lions at 7.
To demonstrate the superior color of new Kodak Gold 400 film, just open a box. It has the richest, most vivid color available in a high-speed film. New Kodak Gold 400. Fast film. True colors.
Your dentist told you about plaque. You knew what it could lead to. But you didn't listen. You need the new Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover. The unique cup-shaped brush cleans deep between each tooth and below the gum line. Just like your dentist wants you to.
That shelf should hold now, Doc.
The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover. Only your dentist does it better.
When regular drills hold you back, send in the new Ranger cordless drill from Black & Decker. It goes anywhere to handle all the tough jobs. No strings attached. The new Ranger cordless drill, a powerful gift idea from Black & Decker.
More reliable than most, this umbrella. For it comes from our agents and 35,000 employees dedicated to customer service. Open in case you want insurance and investment expertise the traveler's way. You're better off under the umbrella.
In Division I AA, it's settled on the field. The battle for the national title. The Division I AA Football Championship next Saturday.
Little chilly indeed as you take a look.
And that's the home team. These are the guys that are used to the cold weather. And look how bundled up they are.
And look at what they're sitting next to.
Got that heater working. These fans don't have. Look at these. Oh, look at, this looks like the world's largest duck blind. Look at all they're in camouflage and orange, and they don't have heaters on their benches.
Not a convention of crossing guards. 3rd and 1 for the Packers. Ball at their own 37. And Workman taking it ahead in the pile. And this will be close.
I think they made that by about a half a lace on the football, but they ran right up behind their usual power and strength behind Hallstrom and Mandrich.
That small a margin, huh? And indeed they did.
Half a lace on the football. It's about 1.5 inches.
Randy, how did you deal in cold weather cities when you were playing?
Well, you know, we always had a great attitude about it. We get in late Friday night. We'd practice on Saturday. It was kind of neat. We never saw it snow. The biggest thing for us was we were in this cold for 3 hours. We got to go home. We figured, heck, they got to stay in.
Back to San Francisco. Thompson play action. Pass off the hands of Darrell Thompson. We'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for Green Bay. Ball at the 39. 14-13 left in the second quarter of play.
And there's Ron Wolf, the new man in charge here with the Packers. You're doing all the evaluating. You know, last week I made a statement in the Packer game that this was a team playing for wins. This is a team playing for pride. And in talking to Lindy and Fonnie and talking to these players this week, I was wrong last week. This is a team playing for their lives, playing for their livelihoods, playing for their jobs. They're very concerned and very aware that being evaluated on a daily basis by Ron Wolf.
Human nature. 2nd and 10 going up top. And out of bounds as Charles Wilson ran into a makeshift group of stands over there. Talk about concentration. He was a good 5-6 yards out of bounds and still was looking at the pass. Tomczak 3 of 9 for 37 yards.
And that serves a purpose, James. I mean, this is bad weather. The ball's frozen. The field's frozen. The wind's blowing. But that just sends a message over to defensive coordinator Woody Widenhofer of the Detroit Lions and his whole defense. They say, we're going to go deep. We can get the ball down there. Our quarterback can throw deep. You better be aware of it. That helps to stretch the defense.
3rd and 10. The Pack 2 of 4 third down conversions. And Tomczak throws it over the head of Eric Affolter, a first-year player out of USC. So Paul McJulian will come on to punt it away. Affolter was another guy looking forward to playing in the cold weather, the young man out of USC. Not South Carolina, but Southern California.
You talk about messages being sent, and we're going to stretch your defense out with our long pass. Well, watch all this coming in here. A lot of blitzes, a lot of pressure. They get right in Tomczak's face, and Woody Widenhofer's defense goes, you want to send a message? Okay, here's a message for your quarterback. Stay ready, we're coming after you.
Nice message. Mel Gray back to receive this McJulian punt. And it rolls and settles at just about the 20-yard line, a 40-yard punt. It'll be Lions ball when we come back.
How do you improve a design like Ford Taurus? With no negatives, you simply accentuate the positives. Aerodynamic design becomes slipperier. Instrumentation and controls become handier. An inviting interior becomes friendlier. And in the end, the most award-winning car in its class becomes even classier. The new Ford Taurus. Have you ever wished the good things in life could get even better? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Citizen, 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 elegant citizen, citizen, elegance. Oh, his citizen, her citizen, one citizen with lots of citizen, elegant, elegant, perfectly elegant citizen. We've got elegance.
You can travel to the ends of the earth to keep up with the Joneses, or to your local McDonald's for your own original Indiana Jones videos. Just $5.99 each with the purchase of any large sandwich all day long. The adventure begins December 16th.
This playoff summary is sponsored by Coors Light.
As you take a look at the playoff summary, Randy, I guess the best synopsis in the NFC, still a lot of teams in contention. Detroit, most important today that they win so that they can clinch a spot in the playoffs.
When in doubt, go to the Al Davis maxim. Just win, baby. Just win.
As a matter of fact, that was the advice that you had from Mark Spindler, who was trying to figure out all the scenarios as well.
Oh, yeah. Why complicate it? Why go crazy? Just win your games. It's not hard to figure out.
And that's, of course, what Detroit is trying to do. Green Bay trying to play well to show the new boss that they can do the job. And doing the job defensively is Green Bay, Sarah Tuaolo. This young man you have been impressed with from day one at the nose tackle position.
Well, defensively in the NFC, you've got two nose guards in Sarah Tuaolo and Mo Gardner in Atlanta that I think really are leading contenders for NFC Defensive Rookies of the Year.
Tuaolo, a rookie out of Oregon State, and the cold weather doesn't bother him a bit. 2nd and 11. Ball at the 19 for Detroit. 13-16. Left in the first half of play, all tied at 7 apiece. Kramer with time and drills it incomplete. The intended receiver that time was Willie Green. In talking about Eric Kramer, again, you mentioned at the top of the game that which Wayne Fonte said, he is the key. What's he going to have to do well today?
He has got a job like I think about 20 quarterbacks in the NFL have. His job is to not lose games. His job is to not fumble the snap. His job is to not throw balls into crowds and throw interceptions and make the critical errors that can kill this game. He can't lose games. It's Barry Sanders' job to win games.
3rd and 11. Kramer looking for Perryman and overthrows him, and Perryman turned to play the part of defensive back, trying to keep Leroy Butler from intercepting the ball.
It's a nice job by Perryman to knock that down. Actually, he knocked Butler down more than he did the ball on that play.
You mentioned that Wayne Fonte had the attitude of Kramer to go in, not to lose a ball game, just play within the bounds of your ability. A number of quarterbacks started out that way. Even Mark Rippon this season, who's having an MVP season, basically have been given that charge by the Redskins.
And I think that's one thing Mark Rippon has finally figured out. My job, I've got a lot of great talent around me. I just don't lose the game. I get the ball into their hands, they win the game.
Arnold to punt for Detroit. A low one.
And a bad one.
Doesn't make it to midfield. A 30-yard punt. A bad one indeed. Great field position for Green Bay.
Do comfort and adventure go together? They do now, since Ford created a vehicle that quickly became the class of its class by providing the most comfort and interior room you can buy. 4-liter power and as much exterior room as your heart desires. Going where others have never gone before. That's what being an explorer is all about.
A kiss? No, I'm sorry. I don't think so.
Oh, no, please, no, baby, no.
Oh, not a good idea. Not now.
No, bad time.
Fight morning breath with Scope. Scope has 2 powerful ingredients that kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Your kiss is ready. Pucker up.
Right on the kisser. Come on.
Kiss morning breath goodbye with Scope.
Give me that kiss.
Dave Thomas is still traveling the world over looking for new foods for Wendy's.
No thanks, I just ate.
Hey.
Hi. Boy, I sure could go for a Big Dave's Deluxe.
It's back. Made with a 1/4 pound of fresh beef, cheese, 3 strips of bacon, sauteed onions. The works.
Hey, this isn't Piccadilly.
Come in for another Big Dave's Deluxe, only at Wendy's.
There's no place like home.
Imelda, Morton Downey Jr., Hollywood bad girl Sean Young. They had it all. Can they get it back? 48 hours Wednesday.
A packed house of hearty souls on hand to watch the longest continuous rivalry in the NFL, the 132nd meeting between these two ball clubs.
And look at that on first down. Their total 4-1. More importantly for the Packers, the 3.8. They're getting up there around 4 yards on rushing the ball. They're cramming the ball in the middle of this Detroit defense.
1st and 10. Woodside. And Woodside with an excellent run for about 9 yards. 1 yard shy of the first down marker, tackled by Chris Spielman and Tracy Hayworth.
A big matchup today. Jerry Ball is out at nose guard. Replacing him, Lawrence Pete right here working against James Campen. Campen's specialty really is pass blocking, but in this instance does a good job of hooking Pete, gets him held up, and Woodside, more importantly, reads the fact the inside's clogged up and bounces that one outside.
From the 41, where the ball is spotted, this is 2nd and 2, and Woodside fumble! And the Lions recover. Well, the official indicates no, it's still Green Bay's ball. Sterling Sharp under the pile to recover the fumble.
So far, a bad day for ball maintenance here in Green Bay. It's frozen. It's tough to hold on to. You got to do the extra little things. And when Thompson's arms are hit, that ball pops out. Look at Sharp. You talked about his strength. There's a wide receiver that bench presses 400 pounds, gets into the linebackers and linemen, and steals that one away.
Thompson, the ball carrier. And Thompson bullying his way ahead, holding onto the ball for 7 yards.
Well, Detroit's indicating a fumble, but the official
say down,
pointing to the ground.
Plays
that
dead.
means he was down. Got an injured Detroit Lion on the field.
It looks like Benny Blades. And you talked about that banged up Detroit defense. That secondary especially was banged up, Randy.
It really is. Most of the defensive backs and all the starting linebackers missed at least 2 days of practice this week for Detroit. They can ill afford to lose one of their good defensive starters in a Benny Blades at this point as they're trying to make a push. It's 7-all.
Let me just cut in here with news about a pretty exciting non-alcoholic brew. See, it doesn't matter if you're a log cutter or a dog cutter. You're gonna love a Coors Cutter. It tastes like beer because it's brewed like beer. Thing is, Cutter's special yeast doesn't produce all that alcohol. So whether you're a stud cutter or a spud cutter, a Coors Cutter goes down smooth and easy as you please. Nothing cuts it like a cutter.
It's an escort. Right away.